Today, we're diving into one of the most profound mysteries of existence. What happens to the soul during the first year after death? Imagine this. You take your last breath, but instead of fading into nothingness, your consciousness awakens in a completely new reality. Sounds fascinating, doesn't it? But here's the thing. It's not always peaceful or easy. Some souls experience liberation, while others face confusion, regret, or even torment. So let me walk you through what spiritual teachings, particularly those of Allan Kardec, reveal about this critical period. Before we begin, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below. Do you believe the soul remains conscious immediately after death, or do you think there's a kind of spiritual sleep? I'll mark thoughtful comments with a heart. Now, let's explore what really happens when we cross over. From the dawn of humanity, death has been one of life's greatest enigmas. What happens after we close our eyes for the final time? Do we wake up in another reality? Is there a tunnel of light, or do we wander aimlessly, searching for answers that never come? Religions and spiritual doctrines have tried to explain this mystery, but few have gone as deep as Allan Kardec, the father of Spiritism. Through his research, Kardec uncovered profound insights into the soul's journey after death. According to him, the first year of the soul's existence in the spirit world can be either a period of revelation and growth, or a shocking, painful awakening. And honestly, I find this both terrifying and enlightening. It makes me reflect on how I'm living my life right now, because, apparently, the choices we make here determine what happens next. Let's start with the moment of death itself. When the soul leaves the body, many spirits report feeling an overwhelming sense of lightness. For those who lived balanced lives filled with compassion and kindness, this transition can feel euphoric, like breaking free from a prison. But for others, those burdened by guilt, fear, or unresolved pain, the experience can be crushing. Imagine reliving every action you've ever taken, feeling firsthand the impact you had on others. If you caused suffering, you'll feel that pain. If you spread love, you'll feel that warmth return to you. This isn't some external judgment, it's an internal reckoning. Your own conscience becomes the mirror reflecting back everything you've done. As someone who believes deeply in personal responsibility, this idea resonates with me. It reminds us that every choice matters, not just for this life, but for what comes after. In the months following death, many spirits struggle to adapt. Some try to continue their routines as if they're still alive. They attempt to sleep, eat, or go about their day, only to realize none of these things are necessary anymore. Time operates differently in the spirit world, and the illusion of material existence begins to dissolve. This is where the real challenge arises: acceptance. Those who accept their new condition are guided by higher spirits to dimensions of learning and evolution. But those who resist, well, they get stuck. These are the lost souls, wandering between worlds, trapped in frustration and despair. I've heard stories of spirits lingering in places they loved, like their homes or workplaces, unable to move on because they refuse to accept that their time has ended. It's heartbreaking, really. Their attachment to earthly life becomes a chain that binds them. Now here's something that fascinates me. Not all spirits suffer in the same way. Those who lived with humility, love, and a desire for spiritual growth tend to pass through this transition more smoothly. They're greeted by beings of light, reunited with deceased loved ones, and welcomed into realms of peace and understanding. These souls don't experience the harsh judgment that others might face because they were already prepared for the journey ahead. On the flip side, individuals consumed by selfishness, cruelty, or arrogance often find themselves in dark, dense regions populated by other troubled spirits. It's almost poetic. If you spend your life cultivating negativity, you'll end up surrounded by it. This concept challenges me to think about the energy I bring into the world. Am I creating light, or am I contributing to the darkness? One of the most intriguing aspects of the first year after death is the role of addictions and desires. Spirits who were addicted to substances like alcohol, drugs, or even behaviors like gambling may carry those cravings into the afterlife. Without a physical body to satisfy these urges, they're left tormented, yearning for pleasures they can no longer access. In some cases, these spirits try to connect with living people who share their vices, hoping to vicariously experience what they've lost. It's a sobering reminder of how deeply habits can anchor us, not just in this life, but beyond it. If you've ever struggled with addiction, this should give you pause. Healing isn't just about the body, it's about the soul too. Another chilling detail is the phenomenon of spiritual slumber. Some souls, especially those who denied any form of spirituality during life, enter a state of unconsciousness after death. Instead of waking up to a new reality, they remain in a kind of limbo, unaware of their surroundings. This can last for years, decades, or even centuries until their consciousness gradually awakens. To me, this raises an important question. Are we preparing ourselves spiritually for what lies ahead? Or are we so focused on material pursuits that we lose sight of the bigger picture? As the months go by, the soul undergoes three key stages: denial, comprehension, and acceptance. During the denial phase, many spirits refuse to believe they're dead. They roam their old homes, trying to interact with family members who can't see or hear them. Some even attempt mundane tasks like eating or sleeping, only to realize they no longer need to. This stage can last weeks, months, or longer, depending on how attached the spirit was to their earthly life. Eventually, they reach the comprehension phase, where they begin to understand their new reality. At this point, some spirits seek guidance from mentors, while others stubbornly try to figure things out on their own. Finally, there's acceptance, a moment of surrender where the soul acknowledges its journey hasn't ended, but merely transformed. Not everyone reaches this stage quickly, though. Some linger in confusion or denial for years, especially if they rejected the idea of an afterlife altogether. Here's a thought-provoking twist. The thoughts and emotions of the living can influence the dead. When families grieve intensely, their pain can hold spirits back, making it harder for them to move on. That's why many spiritual traditions encourage prayers and positive vibrations for the departed. These acts of love and remembrance help the soul release its ties to the physical plane and find its way forward. It's a beautiful reminder of how interconnected we are, even across dimensions. As time passes, something strange happens. The veil of forgetfulness descends. Many spirits initially retain vivid memories of their past lives, recalling places, people, and events with clarity. But as months go by, these memories fade. According to Kardec, this occurs because the soul begins reconnecting with memories of previous incarnations. Our current identity, it turns out, is just one chapter in a much larger story. This blows my mind. Who are we, really? Are we the names, faces, and histories we associate with in this lifetime? Or are we something far greater, expanding beyond the limitations of human existence? By the end of the first year, the soul faces a pivotal decision: to ascend to higher dimensions or remain stuck in lower vibrational states. This choice isn't made by some divine judge, it's up to the individual spirit. Those who embrace detachment, forgiveness, and self-awareness progress more easily. Others, clinging to anger, vengeance, or regret, remain trapped in denser energies. Some spirits don't even realize how much time has passed. For them, centuries may slip away unnoticed until they finally awaken to a changed world. And then there's the possibility of a second chance, a temporary mission granted to certain souls before reincarnation. These spirits might return to protect someone, complete unfinished business, or guide the living toward positive change. So what does all this mean for us? It means that how we live today shapes our tomorrow, not just in this life, but in the next. There's no escaping the truth, no masks, no secrets, no excuses. We confront who we truly are, stripped bare of all pretense. And perhaps that's the greatest lesson of all. If you died today, would you be ready to face your own conscience? Would you move forward with peace, or would you remain tethered to the past? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me on this journey of exploring life's deepest mysteries. Before you go, check out one of the videos appearing on your screen now. They'll perfectly complement what you've learned today.